Shalom people, this is Brother Laos coming at you with another video. And the US-Mexican border under the bridge in Del Rio, Texas is now empty. All the refugees, mostly Haitian, have been either sent back to Haiti or are now in detention centers in Texas awaiting asylum proceedings to see if they can seek asylum here in America because of the assassination of their president and the earthquake that happened this year. After seeing the treatment that they received while they were there, I don't really hold out hope that many of them will be granted the asylum, because the earthquake in 2010 did far more damage and had far more death than this one. And even then, I don't think they were swinging the doors open to the Haitians coming here to this nation. And so again, now we're left to contemplate the treatment that they received while they were there, from the pictures of the Border Patrol using their reins in a fashion that would cause one to remember what our ancestors on the slave plantations and sharecropping had to go through. Because if you remember the video I did a while back, I stated to you that sharecropping, which was another form of slavery, was still going on in America. Probably up until the 1970s, and maybe even beyond in some remote places. Could still be going on. When I was telling the story of the older gentleman that I talked to in the barber shop, who stated when they did sharecropping with a white man, and it was a 20-60 ownership thing, and they had to work the land. He said that the white man used to come while they were working in the fields on a horse. So this is nothing new. And of course we understand that the mode of transportation back then was the horse. And of course we understand that mounted Border Patrol agents is nothing new. But what we must understand is our enemy, our open enemy, is good with using imagery to send a message. And so as those Border Patrol agents were riding between those refugees, flailing their whips, let me take that back, their reins, because we gotta be correcting the usage that we use, even though we understand that those reins could hurt just as much as a whip, and that the way that they were using them was not to steer the horse, and they were angling them at such an angle as to imply that they would lash down on the Haitians. See, our open enemy is good at that. Remember, America is the vestige of the Roman Empire, and the Roman Empire was expert in their law, understand? And so by law, the way these border patrol agents gonna get off is they're gonna say, by law, we can use those reins for crowd control. Although we understand that if it was, let's just say some ethnic Albanians, or to just say for some strange reason, the British Empire, Great Britain fell, and some white British people somehow would have to make their way through South and Central America up to the American border, and would try to gain entry into this in the United States, that if they quote unquote did crowd control on them, that it would be an international incident if they tried to use crowd control with their brethren, using horses and the reins of the horse. It would never fly. They would start World War III with their cousins over that, because they would say that treatment is reserved for the darker races, not for us. Never use a whip on your fellow European brother. Never. But for us and for the Hispanics, which I doubt is this the only time they've ever done this. It's just that this time it was caught on camera, and I really believe they did it intentionally. I believe they was giving orders, and I believe they set the press in that strategic place to catch them doing it, to send the message that this is what you're going to get if you try to cross the Rio Grande, if you try to cross any bridge, you try to cross anything into these United States, and you're from Haiti, this is the treatment that you're going to get. So that's why they're not going to do anything, because you heard the DHS secretary say, do not try to come into these United States. You will not succeed. So how do you send such a strong message? You tell your border patrol agents to use any means necessary to stem the flow of these Haitians. Now, if you're the white Afghanis, that's a different story. If you are the some groups of Hispanics, you know, they probably know we can't do that, because the Hispanic coalition is very powerful. But with the Haitians, the black people, or whatever other group that would try to come in here, because it's probably some Africans that, I think they say that some of the Africans that have been crossing the Mediterranean have started trying to get into South America, and they're taking the same track to the US-Mexican border and trying to, you know, just get in where they can fit in, so that if they get caught, they'll get the same treatment. And so again, what do we expect? And I think this is just y'all making us make bricks without straw. He's letting our open enemy get us very uncomfortable in this nation again, to really show what they really have felt in their heart and their mind all along, that as long as the black middle class went along with the patriotism, Americana type attitude toward this country, and this overlook the things that have been going on all along, the police brutality, that wasn't being publicized as much because we didn't have cell phones and cameras back in the day like we do now. But now we do. You know, now it's being broadcast, and they're saying, what are you complaining about? This is the same treatment we've been giving you for a long time, and you never complain. You wanted to be integrated with us, and when you became integrated with us, we had to teach you how to act. We had to show you how to act if you wanted to be integrated in this. And this is why Martin Luther King said what he did. I fear that I have integrated my people into a burning house. But this is nothing but what Yeshua had already stated to us into the book of Revelations when he said, come out from her, my people, lest ye become partakers of her sins. What is her sins? Her sins is to kill, steal, and destroy. So you partake of her sins, you will be killed, and you will be stolen from, and ultimately you will be destroyed. So this is our option. Option is to remain here and continue on in this merry-go-round, year after year, day after day, with the stories coming out like this with Haiti, Haitian refugees, the stories of our people getting shot down in the street, stories of our people when it's time for aid to be dispersed, not getting what they need. And we'll just continue this on for another 400 years. No, thank you. It's time to cry out to the Most High and ask Him for deliverance, to ask Him to come and send His Son back. If not, we will continue with the emasculation of the black male. We'll continue with the black female being made masculine, and we'll continue with our children being continually fed the white supremacist lies about who we are, our future, all of that. Because you see, they're kicking back on against the quote-unquote critical race theory, which is nothing more than telling the truth about what we're saying. So I suspect that soon what we'll find is there are going to be people bringing lawsuits against the critical race theory, as they call it, and they'll have judges that will put injunctions in place, because right now you got white teachers protesting it being taught. You got a lot of teachers, not teachers, a lot of white parents that are, you know, trying to find their private schools to send their children so that they will not be indoctrinated with what they call communist rhetoric. Enough. When are we, and I'm talking about myself, when are we going to wake up and understand that Most High said He hates an admixture? You cannot mix a lie with truth. You cannot, on one hand, teach, you know, expect them to, what's that word? Those that have into their heart white supremacy, to become acclimated to the truth of the fact that they aren't, they're not just and they're not righteous, that they state that this nation has been. It's not going to work. Can two walk together except they agree? There is no more agreement. And this is why I tell those when you watch my videos about these white truthers, about these white evangelicals. Because you see, when all this stuff was going on down at the border, you had all these videos coming out where they were saying, the Border Patrol, they're doing what horsemen do. They're using the reins the way they supposed to. We understand the nuances of what wickedness that these people do. They knew that swinging anything near these people like that would be controversial. And they knew that these truthers, these alt-right, these white evangelicals would back them up. And that's why nothing is gonna happen. And the Hispanic coalition, you not really heard anything from them. They don't care, because some of the people that was doing this to them was Hispanics. When we wake up, we gotta wake up. And so again, I pray that maybe a few of the Haitian refugees will get asylum. But ultimately, why, you say, would you want to be part of this racist country? But this is the problem we have, and this is just the plain truth. Whether we stay here, or whether we go to the countries where other countries that our people been scattered and dispersed to, if you go there, they're over there causing mayhem and making the living conditions so bad that they make the people want to come to this nation, because the situation in their nation is so bad. And so then they end up becoming the hero. So we're not gonna win this thing until the Most High Yah sends back his son, Yeshua, our King and our Redeemer, to destroy these people's kingdom. And Yah has been very merciful to them. Very, very merciful when you look at the destruction of their property. But it's not a lot of people that's dying. You can look at the destruction of the La Palma volcano, where it's destroying a lot of the land, the way that they are able to move and leave without getting burnt up. The Most High is being gracious to them, but it's just great destruction of their property. But they still will be obstinate. I think they still will be recalcitrant. And so when the Most High levels up and moves it up to the red level, they won't have nobody to blame but themselves. And I, for one, I read the word and I understand, what great mercy he had for us. But if we had to go through some of the stuff that we went through, and the level of disobedience that these people are at, and obstinance, it's just, you can imagine. The Bible said they'll get 4 times more than what they gave to us when the Most High used them to punish us, but they went way beyond that. So with that, I would say I want you to share this video. I want you to give it a thumbs up. I want you to leave a comment, and I want you to subscribe. Be blessed.